Hey guys, Buttercup's Reef here. So we are going to tackle a hell of a problem tank right here. There's lots of different things that you can do to help fix a tank like this. And mainly it's going to be step by step. So I've already made up some water to kind of help. First thing you got to do is we're going to have to clean out manually all this algae. We're going to have to manually clean the sides of the tank and do a really good water change, and then see what we end up working with. You can see there's also some bubbles starting to form on the inside. I'm sure the critters in there are not very happy right now. See these brown spots? They're obviously spots that have been collecting detritus, or, you know, nastiness, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just siphoning them up and trying to get as much as I can before I get the circulation improved. Siphon that I prefer for big water changes and maintenance, but since this tank has kind of gotten a little out of control, I like to use the smaller ones because it doesn't take as much water and you can kind of focus on what you're trying to get out. And it does clog more, but I just have a little toothpick, I push it out, and I move on because I need to really focus on the problem areas without losing too much of the water at this point in time. Big thing, obviously we need to manually remove all of this green hair algae on this. So I'm going to start by taking out the pumps and scrubbing them and putting them back. My tank scrubber, and I'm going to start scrubbing off these walls. There's not really anything that I need to be too particularly worried about getting in the tank. It's just algae film. So I'm going to start scrubbing and get it into the water column so I can do a good water change. Not good for the tank. So I went ahead and scrubbed the pump, but the other thing I'm doing is everything, and here's the other pump, everything that you can take out of the tank and not put this back in the tank is the best way to do it. So I'm taking all this out and I'm putting it into a bucket and scrubbing it and rinsing it and then putting it back. Now always use your tank water. Don't use sink water to rinse anything because it can make your problems worse. So I have a special reverse osmosis filter that I use, and I always use that special water. Don't use sink water to rinse all this because the sink water can make your issues so much worse. To put my siphon right on it, you see how it's already sucking it up, and then I'm going to take a toothbrush and scoot it into there with the toothbrush. So to try and get it straight out of the tank, don't feed it back into your tank, okay? This algae is holding all the food that it needs. If you release it back in the tank, it's going to cause another algae growth. So try to get everything you can into the siphon and straight out of the tank. I'm going to go through and try to get as much of that's a visibly huge piece of green algae. I'm going to go through and get all the big floaties like that out with the siphon. I put a piece of filter over the intake on my fish tank pump because I don't want the algae and whatever debris clogging my pump up. So I just have a little piece of filter over it. Whenever it gets dirty, I change it out. Tank with my already pre-mixed water. You know, it should be mixed at least a minimum of 2 hours before you put it in. Back up and see the water's flowing. I'm going to put regular blue filter right there to catch all the big stuff that's going to come from after cleaning the tank, and then I'll take that out and change it and throw it away, probably here in a day or two. It's like after 30 minutes of circulation after cleaning it up and changing the water. So this is great for now, but we'll have to see what it looks like in a couple days from now.